I don't womanize, I don't do any stupid thing in this country. But for Indians to come and attack me just for no reason, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But the only thing I'm saying, if they don't want us in this country, they should let us know.
That was Endurance Ama-Awa, one of the young Nigerians recently attacked in a New Delhi suburb after a candlelight vigil turned violent. Endurance, his brother and a friend were spotted nearby the vigil and attacked.
Well, this is just the latest attack against Africans in India, where tens of thousands of students from the continent study. Police have made arrests and opened a probe into the attack, but the Indian government insists it was not racially motivated.
But to say that the Indians can be racist is the most vicious thing, because we worship black God. Krishna is black. And they can't be racist attacks. There have been many such incidents. One community reacting against other community for certain reasons, economic or just like that, because the criminalized behavior doesn't need any logic. So this incident and the other incidents which have occurred in Ride are condemnable, they are unfortunate, but they must understand that Indians can be anything but racist.
Indians aren't
we
racist.
are the victims of racism of the British people for long.
And then let me just bring in Meena. Meena, there are headlines regularly in India. Here's one here. Bangalore, mob strips Tanzanian girl, torches her car as police watch. Another one, attacks on Nigerians, tight security in Greater Noida, cops assure action. How afraid are you to be out and about, taking part in Indian life as a student there?
Now, I want to categorically say I'm not racially profiling all Indians as being racist, but majority of the Indian population are racist towards we Africans. Now, I'm taking a larger scenario. For example, what happened in Bangalore around last year, March. This Tanzanian girl who was attacked, for example, she had nothing to do with what happened. And the mob attacked the Tanzanian girl because she was what? She was black. So that is the problem within the Indian society. They refuse to accept, just like this one is just saying, that Indians are with black people and therefore there is no racism. There is racism within the Indian system itself, not to talk of we Africans. So the earlier they start accepting the problem that there is racism within the Indian system, especially towards we Africans, and then they try to find solutions towards it. Because if they keep denying it, the attacks is going to get on every single day. It's not going to stop, and it's going to keep happening and getting worse day by day. So I completely disagree with him saying that there's no racism in India. That is completely wrong, and I totally don't agree with him.
Right, so
there is racism
what happens
in India, but I don't think these embassies are doing enough, in as much as they are here representing the interests of their government. When there is an attack going on, Indians don't say, this person is from Tanzania, or this person is from Ghana, or this person is from Nigeria. They attack you because they see you as an African. So when an African is attacked, I expect our ambassadors to come out and condemn the act. On the Indian side, the justice system does not favor we Africans here, because whenever there is an attack or there's a problem involving an African and an Indian, the Indian police refuses to file case in favor of we Africans. And we've been protesting against it. But when it's a crime against an Indian perpetrated by an African, they easily file a complaint. I don't understand why this keeps happening. So the justice system does not favor Africans here. The Indian government is not doing enough to ensure the security of African students in India.
I want to play a video comment we got from...
Actually, the races I've experienced here in India is that really most the Indians don't like our skin colors, that is the black color, because they have always been around with their own friends with same skin color. But if you are black, you have been behind them, is that they consider you as sort of trash because you had black skin. And then at times they considered all the blacks and Africans are just smelling or something like that. I think this racism has to do with maybe malinformation or maybe inadequate, maybe education on how humans are.
So of course, yes. I mean, I've heard both, and I just can't help if I just want to say that I identify more with what Sadiq has to say, and the politician is speaking those words which one can read or hear every time these attacks happen. There is I've heard this each and every time. There is no racism in India, which is amazing. So I don't know. I just want to ask you, sir, why are so many people? Why are they saying that Indians are racist? Why are Indians saying Indians are racist, and why are people abroad also looking, and those who visit our beautiful nation also feeling that Indians are racist? I wonder why. Are they all wrong?
I don't know who you
that.
are. I don't know who you are. Are you an Indian or an American? I don't know. But you should understand
Oh, wait
that
a sec.
our
I brought my
language should.
passport.
You should try. You should try to be more respectful. India has been the biggest
Tarun,
victim
just take
of
a pause for
racism.
a moment, because I want to go back to our African
stand
students
with
who
the
are in our
students,
conversation
but
right
don't-
now. The head of the African mission called the attacks, you can see it here on my laptop, xenophobic, and that no deterring measures have been taken by the government of India.
To pick up on both of these comments. One, that these are people in the drug trade, and therefore it seems to say he's implying this is justified. And then his second point is that it's not everywhere in India. It's just in Delhi. It's just in Noida.
Oh, but my experience has been that it's everywhere, all over India. So I've met Africans all over India, Bangalore, where I'm based, in Delhi, Bombay, Rajasthan, all over India, Hyderabad, and we see the same or similar incidents repeating themselves everywhere. And every city will tell you that, oh, we are such a hospitable city, but it happens in Delhi, not in our city. But that is not true. And I'm just referring to incidents in the last 2 years. So this keeps happening. And every time we address these incidents in isolation, it's not going to help, because there is something else that is connecting all these incidents. Now, about Nigerians being
question to
drug
ask to this
traders and all
gentleman
that, I
who
haven't
says
met
that
any,
he's from
so I
India.
cannot say anything about it.
Let me
So
just
don't
speak to
use this kind of
Sadiq.
ugly,
Taru,
poisonous language.
if you're so kind to
You are
African
twisting.
students,
He says, I don't think merely releasing statements after the attack is enough. The government needs to bring strong laws to create deterrence. Mahesh, we also got other tweets from people saying that we need just a change of awareness and a change in the mindsets, education, so on and so forth.
Hello there, welcome back everybody. We're talking about the spate of attacks against Africans in India. We have Mahesh, Sadiq, Meena and Tarun who are back with us in this conversation. Meena, I'm trying to work out, what do you do when you say you want to educate some people who feel that you're different? And because Tarun is pretty insistent that these attacks are criminal attacks, it's not to do with any kind of racism. How would you persuade him otherwise?
I'm sorry to say it's a racial attack, because if you take this attack, for example, that happened in Noida, this guy who was beaten, the Kenyan lady who was pulled out of a cab and beaten, she had nothing to do with the incidents that happened with the boy who died. So if it's not racially motivated, why were those two people attacked?
And if I
I'm
could just
asking
add,
him if he can give me an answer. If it's not racially motivated, why was the Kenyan lady pulled out of a cab, and why was a Nigerian guy beaten in the mall? These two people who were beaten, they had nothing to do with the incidents. So why do you sit and say it's not racially motivated?
Let's see what
That is
Tarun
the
has
problem.
to say.
The Indian authorities, the Indian community is always refusing to deny the fact that attacks on Africans is racially motivated. But that is it. I've been in India for almost 3 years. I've experienced some sort of racism. And I'm telling you, every single attack that happens on Africans is racially attacked. It's
Tarun?
racially motivated.
It's really
So
shocking.
if
I
you tell
can
me it's
sympathize.
not racially motivated, I won't accept that.
On January 29, 2014, a young guy, Nido Tanya from Arunachal, was beaten to death in the Lajpat Nagar market of Delhi. The reason? He looked simply different. A couple of years later, two similar but parallel incidents took place. Two young guys from Mizoram were beaten in Bangalore. Two students from Nagaland were brutally tortured for hours by local men in Gurgaon to simply teach them a lesson that you don't belong here. What's terrifying is their intent. They chopped off one of their hair and said, if you tribal people from the northeast come here, we will kill you. A few years later, my friends and I were denied an entry into a hotel in Jaipur just because we didn't look Indian enough. A group of students from Assam on their trip to the Taj Mahal were asked to prove their nationality through their passports, and some of them even made to sing national anthem. A girl from Manipur was harassed by an immigration official at Delhi's airport, asking her, "Tum Indian to nahi dikhti ho? You don't look Indian enough." He also wanted to test her of her Indianness by asking how many states comprised India and what were the neighboring states of Manipur. Now, what is this racism?
We want justice! We want anti-racism!
His death exposed the ugly underbelly of racism in India. Protests against racial discrimination across the country. And now the post-mortem report confirms that 19-year-old Nido Tanya was indeed beaten to death. 9 injuries, the brutal blows to his head and face leading to his ultimate death. The 3 accused now likely to be charged for murder. Nido's grieving family hitting out at the sloppy probe so far.
I'm not satisfied at all with the police action. My son, that is, if the police take him to medical, my son could have been saved. I'm not satisfied with the police.
Total mistake of Delhi cops. They have committed number 1 mistake, and second mistake is committed by those culprits who has killed my child.
But India clearly has learned no lessons. 2 more brutal incidents close on the heels, shock once again.
Attacks on people from the northeast continued despite Nido's death. First, it was a girl who accused her landlord's son of raping her, and now 2 students from the northeast were beaten with rods, with one of them admitted at the AIIMS Trauma Center.
The spotlight once again on the shameless racial profiling of the people from the northeast. Protesters demanding answers to one question: when will this lynch mob racism end?
Even as the police tread cautiously, Nido's friends have labelled it as a racist crime.
I many times experienced this. When we pass somewhere, everywhere, any gully and all, the people shouting that, Nepali and all.
Predictably, the Delhi government blamed the police instead.
He was 19 years old, studying to be an architect far away from his home in Manipur. But Richard Loitam was found dead on his Bangalore hostel bed earlier this month.
So I want to convert the case to a homicide case, and we want to demand justice, as well as the case should be swift, thorough.
I'm just stuck. I'm speechless. And I just had this man in Indian. Why they killed my brother?
But so far, nobody has been arrested for murder. And there is outrage expressed in these protests in Delhi and Bangalore.
Richard has been murdered. This was never expected in this city. Unfortunately, it has happened to Richard. We don't want this to repeat again in this city.
Aim should be to properly investigate the murder. 11 days and no head pain to the investigation has got the friends and family of Richard Loitam angry and upset. The outrage is such that though Richard was from Manipur and the incident happened in Bangalore, even in New Delhi, large number of people have come in to sit in support, demanding justice for Richard Loitam.
Police say they are waiting for results from the forensic science laboratory before moving forward. Authorities are largely silent. Perhaps nobody anticipated the wave of solidarity and demand for answers on the streets and online where thousands have reacted. And the tragedy has added to the feeling of many of these students from the northeast in Delhi, Bangalore and other cities around the country that they are discriminated against.
It's not an isolated case of Richard. It's an accumulation of what has been, Northeastern people have been discriminated.
People from Northeast living in several parts of India often faces racial discrimination, attacks, assaults, violences and even loss of precious lives over the years. And no action has been reported from concerned authorities regarding such incidents. A 24-year-old Tiapung Sitir became the latest victim of racial discrimination on the night of February 26. Sitir, who is currently doing his master's in sociology at the University of Mumbai, was on his way outside the campus where he was attacked by a group of men.
In a viral video, a vendor from Nagaland has alleged that she experienced racial discrimination at Surajkund Mela in Haryana.
कुत्ता खाती है, सांप खाती है, ये क्या सवाल हुआ?
While the video resulted in many social media users condemning the discrimination, this is only the latest in a long list of discriminatory instances. People hailing from northeastern states have spoken out about being refused housing, being denied entry to places, and fielding disparaging comments on their clothes and food.
We went for a football match at Kandirava Stadium at 7 p.m. The match got over at 9, so we came back from the stadium at 9 p.m. and then we went straight to Bootlegger, which is very near to Kandirava Stadium, for dinner. So we were at the Bootlegger till 11 p.m. That was the closing time. So we came out from the restaurant at 11 p.m. and we were looking for an auto. Then there was an auto guy who was standing right next to the main gate. So he actually approached us just 2-3 meters away from me, and he started using abusive language. I went ahead and asked him कि भैया आपने क्या बोला? That means what do you say? I asked him politely twice, and he got angry and he started getting violent, shouting at the top of his lungs. And then my friend came over and was like, what happened? And then you know what he did? He almost took his sandal off and trying to slap me. My friend stopped him and he was started pointing finger at me. And what he did, he started calling me Chinky, you East Indian, you Northeast, you come to Bangalore, and a lot of things. Then I got kicked off. Then it comes to, about my race, about my pride, about my identity, about my reason. And the fact that it was all over, it went very racist, all racist abuse, you come from East India, you come from these. There were more than 45 to 50 crowd there. Lavelle Road is one of the most posh area in Bangalore. Everyone was just looking at us, enjoying, they're laughing, and they're telling me, bhai jane do na yaar, take the different auto and go home. Jane do. And not to forget, there are ladies there, 10 to 15 ladies sitting there, folding their hand like this and looking at us and laughing at us.
Who was subjected to racial slurs and attacked in the city of Bengaluru. And now, Times Now spoke to a few people on the streets from the national capital, and it seems their mindset and prejudices are clearly against the people from the northeast.
Another racist attack in the IT capital. This time, the victim is the daughter of a former top cop. From Nido Tanya to Rachel Sangliana, incidents of racist attacks only increasing. And when Times Now went out on the streets of Delhi, the intolerance towards those hailing from the northeast was just shocking. People's mindset completely exposed.
15 साल या 20 साल पहले हमारी दिल्ली बहुत अच्छी थी, इसलिए मैं इस चीज़ को लाइक करता हूँ। अभी खराब हुआ है, बहुत खराब, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा, क्यों बहुत मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा। क्यों लगता है? एक्चुअली क्या कि इसलिए कि जब से ये मणिपुर या मिजोरम के जब से स्टेट ये आ गए।
People in the capital not shying away from making some harsh statements.
कहीं ना कहीं locals की मैं कह सकता हूँ, they are somewhere or the other, they might reach to that sort of a decision sometime later on if things get more. Ruling out these northeast, we will not give our spaces here to these guys. We might want to just lock them.
They are humiliated and treated like outsiders in their own country.
Because Sikkim is a part of India, and being Darjeeling and northeast, you should be treated equally. That's the
thing is that we are Indian, we are all Indian. Government, they will be they should protect us.
And now the big question is, will their plea fall on deaf ears, or will the government introduce a stringent law to stop this racist shame?
It was during my exam in third semester. I was coming back from college after giving my exam with my friend. Two of the young guys, they were already under the influence of alcohol, and they started abusing us. Like, they're talking anything, bad things about us. They even speak like in Hindi. I don't know the exact meaning, but they're saying something like "Teri behan me marega," or I really don't know the exact meaning, but I'm sure that it's a really bad word. It hurts me a lot, but I do not react them.
It was, I think, last year. We went to watch a Bollywood movie in the theatre, and then the person who was in the counter who was giving me popcorn, I heard them over speaking. They were like, "What are these chinkies doing here? Do they even understand Hindi? Like, why did they come and watch a Bollywood movie?"
People in Delhi, they are not friendly to people like us who are from outside. They just want to mingle within the Delhiites, and they consider themselves as superior.
I think, like, as a woman, not only the Northeast states, but every woman, whether Hindus, I think everyone's sexually harassed. It's true, but then the women from the Northeast states, I think, let's say we are extra harassed more, we are more like, you know, we are more victims of sexual harassment.
99% of them doesn't understand about the way we are, the way we think, the way we raise our opinions, the way we try to portray ourselves.
I've been called many names. For Northeast girls, what's more common than being called chinky?
Chinky, momo, Nepali, chowmin.
Chinese doll, something Chinese.
Oh, Bahadur. They used to call us by the names of all the Chinese foods.
They're so much in love with the word Nepali or momos or chowmin.
My face and my facial expression shouldn't make me a chinky.
I really feel upset when I see all this discrimination going on.
They want to discourage us so much, and we feel so helpless that we can't keep on fighting to each and every person.
What I see here is racism. I can see that it prevails in this society.
See, when India got independent in 1947, Indians have accepted the unity in diversity, which make India a most democratic country in the world, but it's not into practical, what I feel.
They need to open their minds and learn to accept others' culture too.
We cannot come to any complete solution, but I feel like there is a gap between our cultural understanding.
The bigger and the most important solution is, I think, education. I think the younger generations of this Delhi, or let's say India, should know about the Northeastern cultures and stuff.
But they are not ready to accept the people.
If Northeast is all about small eyes, I think India is all about small minds. I think that's it.
Murder, rape, molestation, verbal abuse. Is racism becoming a new normal in India?
She called me a chinky, pulled my hair and scratched my face, my hands. I don't think it would be wrong to call it a hate crime.
It wasn't a regular Monday morning for Mumbai-based journalist Ushnota Paul. As heavy rains lashed the city, Paul headed to work in an Uber pool car. Paul says a co-passenger, a woman, began to unleash racial slurs on her.
I was physically attacked. There are bruises still on my face. All I could feel from the way she attacked me was that she probably has some hidden grudge against people from the Northeast.
Police are investigating the alleged hate crime, which left Paul terrified and psychologically scarred. Racism, especially against Northeasterners, is a long-standing issue in India. Many from the area flock to different parts of the country in search of work and better education. Some end up being treated as outsiders and humiliated. In 2014, Nido Tanyam's gruesome killing brought Northeasterners out on the streets in protest. In January 2017, a chilling video surfaced of two Northeastern youngsters being assaulted. People from the region complain of being racially stereotyped and discriminated against because of their colour, looks, language and food. And because of their East Asian features, they are commonly referred to as chinky.
Maybe because we look different than the rest of the mainland Indians, but that doesn't mean that we are not Indians. We come under India. We are patriotic about our country.
In May this year, Keko Tiamko from the country's northeast composed a quirky song with lyrics that took a dig at racism. This after many of his friends complained about racism.
My idea was to spread it even more so that the mainland India could listen to this song. Not only the victims of racism from Northeast India.
Dr. Alana Golme, herself from the region, says though these incidents are reported, people neither take a stand nor speak up openly on the issue. The policymakers deny that racism exists in India and refuse to amend the anti-racial law, something that victims are determined to change.
I just want everyone to know that you cannot normalize racism anymore. That time's up.
They look like they're from China. The No-Jam's worst experience with racism took place a year ago after a minor traffic accident.
A mob of around 30 to 40 men gathered and started verbally abusing me first, including the motorist. And then the police constable joined the mob and he again assaulted me twice.
At this college, about a third of the students come from the Northeast. But outside the campus, it's a different story.
It just happened to me this morning as well as I was coming out for college. You know, they said chinky, chinky, chinky.
They would say tum log, which means you people, you come over here and then you create such nuisance and all that.
But those types of comments don't help much. And people on the receiving end of the threats and insults say they sometimes feel like second-class citizens.
A very shocking and outrageous incident that has come to light. Give us more details.
But, you know, this is extremely shocking. And what's more shocking is that this man, who's a lawyer, is out on bail. This is the information we are getting. And the Northeast community over here are extremely exasperated. They are extremely angry as to how this man did manage to secure bail, even after targeting and attacking this Northeast student. Now, it's to abuse them on the phone. Then he reached in half an hour to this particular place. And we're told that for almost 25 minutes, he tortured, he assaulted this young boy. So much so it culminated in the fact that when this man's shoe fell, he made the boy put his shoe back, tie his laces, and also lick his shoe. Now, the Northeast community are stating that he must be booked under laws that deal with racial, he hurt his feelings and racial laws basically. But the police over here say that there are no specific laws dealing with hurting another individual racially. So what the police maximum can do is maybe book him under cases targeting another community, hurting another community's feelings. This is the maximum that the police can do.
Right.
In his own complaint, he stated that he was beaten black and blue everywhere. On his chest, on his stomach, on his chin, his face. He was punched, he was pushed, he was just doing anything to another person. That is what happened to him. It's not just him. We're also told that two of his friends who also came to his rescue were also beaten, but not in this particular way. He's now being treated at a private hospital. We're told that the Northeast community is very strong over here. They've given him all support. They're making sure that he's getting the best of treatment. But again, I must say they're extremely enraged that this man, the man who actually needed this sort of treatment to that boy, is out on bail.
And the shocker being reported from the national capital, where 27-year-old Brilliant Horam, a civil service aspirant, was attacked in the national capital on Saturday. Well, one of the suspects allegedly goggled and spat on him, and when Brilliant objected to this, he was assaulted. Well, it doesn't end there. After leaving the police station, students allege that locals passed racial abuses. Two suspects have been arrested in this case. The student there alleging that he was assaulted and he was abused at by the neighbors also after he returned from the police station there.
Well, the incident happened on Saturday, in fact, in the evening. According to the police, Brilliant was on his way to the market to purchase some pens, stationery, when incidentally someone spat at him. Now, instead of apologizing, that person started abusing him. Then 2 or 3 other persons came and then assaulted him. He was hit with a blunt object. According to the police, he fell unconscious and passers-by then called the police. Now, a case was registered under several sections of IPC, including that of SC/ST Act and also under 153A of IPC. 2 persons in that case have been arrested. Now, locals, the student representatives have alleged that once they filed a complaint with the police, and when they were coming out of the police station and were close to the residence, people of the locality then started abusing them. In that case, is Delhi, after that whole incident we saw with the Ugandan women, becoming an increasingly intolerant city, a city that is becoming increasingly racist? These are some questions that we need to ask ourselves tonight. Veena Lakshmi, you were shaking your head there.
Why? Because you've been talking about the systematic, in a sense, discrimination that students from the Northeast and young people from the Northeast face in the national capital.
I mean, the sequence of events is for everyone to see. We have been national media picked up after we were tweeting it constantly throughout the day. We were shocked that none of the national media base in Delhi did not cover this event in which this young boy, Nido Tiniam from Arunachal, was beaten to death. What I would like to say in this little program is that, like Mr. Nidong Iring said, that he will not call it outrightly as a racist attack. For us, I want the politicians, the lawmakers of this country, to recognize for once that there is a systematic racial attack against people, young people, men and women of the Northeast. Last year, Rangamfi was killed in her own flat in Chirag, Delhi, 29th May 2000. Dana Sangma was killed, died in mysterious death in Amity near Delhi. Richard Loitam was beaten to death in Bangalore. Hongre died in Munirka, just a few kilometers from here, again in one of the killings which happened to the women of Northeast. A young boy in 2008 was thrown off his second-floor rented room by the landlord's son in Safdarjung Enclave area. So it is time that India wakes up to the reality that there is racism in this country, all across the country. Xenophobia in this country, to say this land is mine, this area is mine. Nido Taniam's killing is a byproduct of the systematic violence which is really made serious because our policymakers have failed even after 6-7 years of independence to recognize that we need to let the issues of the Northeast, even the fact we have been campaigning for, including the history of Northeast India in the Indian syllabus, has not been done, which means the history and the culture of 45 million Indians is not coming out.
But you use strong words there, and I'm isko bahar phek do. She said like that. She is the honored. And then I say, excuse me, ma'am, why you behave like this? And then he come and push me, and then I didn't go out. That's why that fellow pushed me, and that lady pulled my hair. I'm stuck in the between. At least they should think we all are same like human beings. They should treat us the same like human beings. Usko bahar phek do. She said like that.
He got the stick, and as soon as he got the stick, he hit my leg.
The police, after searching my body, even he said, "Where are you coming from?" I said, I am from Manipur. Manipur Khapi.
They call us, yes, Chinky. They call us Momos also. And they call us Chinese. So sometimes they will just comment us with chow mein.
My bro and me, we were standing at the juice shop. While drinking juice, one guy was driving a bike. He came along with a bike, and he just stopped nearby me and then pulling me. I thought he was gonna ask me something, but he didn't ask me anything. And as soon as he got the stick, he hit my leg. I fell down in the main road, and then he hit my bro as well.
We started this Northeast Support Center and Helpline in 2007. Why we started this helpline is that our people, our boys and girls, they have been facing problems, whether it is their workplace, whether it is in their rented accommodation, public places. In some of them are in the colleges and also in the universities.
Problems like they face, especially during the admission time, and during their when they first come to Delhi, they could not able to find for the hostels and for the admission.
When I reached Gurugram Delhi border, there the Gurugram police detained me for another 2 hours. They just abuse me. Where are you coming from? You are coming from Nepal, Bangladesh, Thailand.
At least they should think we all are same like human beings. They should treat us the same like human beings. Whenever we go to police station, they are treated very rudely. They never listen to our point.
Normally, the peoples here in Delhi, it seems like they have no idea where the north is. They don't have idea where Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, or Tripura or Meghalaya is.
The main reason is we look different. Our food habits are different. Our dress are different. So with your looks, with your dress, you are bound to be harassed or racially abused by the local.
Very unfortunate also for the Northeast community, for the Northeast people here in Delhi, whom they come here to pursue their career and then they end up humiliated.
People of Northeast India have always been subjected to racism by mainland Indians with terms like Chinky, Momos, Chinese and Korean.
It is high time for the Indian government to accept the question of racism in India. Anti-racial laws need to be amended urgently. How many such horrific incidents like getting spit on or even getting killed or beaten up or even telling us to vacate our rented accommodation just because we have mongoloid features? How many such horrific incidents is the government waiting to happen? The incident which happened with me is just a tip of the iceberg. This was one of the many incidents of racist hate crimes directed towards the Northeasterners by mainland Indians.
पहले तो हमें नेपाली, चिंकी, चाइनीज ये सब बोलता था.
हमारा लुक्स, शकल, सूरत थोड़ा अलग है मगर हम चाइनीज नहीं है.
एक साल होने वाला है, कहीं गया भी नहीं है. तो फिर भी वही बुला रहे तो बहुत खराब लग रहा है. इसे जो भी हो ये सब मज़ा के लिए उतना मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है ना. अगर आप मज़ा के लिए कर रहे तो बस न्यूज़ देखो, वही जो सच है उसको करो बस.
ये क्या है? ये क्या है? ये क्या है? क्या है? आप कौन है? आप कौन है? कौन है आप? बकवास करो ज़्यादा ही.
India is beautiful because of all of its parts, including the Northeast. You have the 7 sisters and 1 brother. All of them make your country richer and more beautiful. When you see it from this direction, I think slowly that sinks in the heart. Slowly, the racist inside that person will move away, because he will understand the value of the place and the people. Rather than just saying, oh, you look different. Isn't that so shallow to just say, oh, you look different, you don't belong with us? I find that funny. I just laugh when I hear people saying stupid things like that. because we are foreigners or because we look different. Yeah, sometimes they used to just think of us as Northeast Indians and treat us bad, or they used to think we are Chinese and treat us bad, or treating me badly because I'm a Korean. Whatever the case is, it's because of this thing called racism. India is honestly much more than that. You have lived for ages and ages together. Then isn't it time to really accept one another as brothers and sisters? I am a Korean who feels like an Indian, so I feel bad, right, when I face this kind of racist people. Then don't you think Northeast Indian people, them being Indians and facing those moments, how hurtful that must be? I really can empathize and feel, because if I can feel this bad when I face those situations, yeah, after the corona, everybody calls me Chinky. I mean, Chinky was always there. Not only during corona, before corona, everybody used to just, when I'm riding my cycle and going somewhere, ching chang chong, and then the bike goes boom. And then like I'm walking somewhere and then another person walks by and say ching chang chong. I'm like, what? But then like I had to face that every single day on the road, and I'm like, I used to feel bad, but then at one point right now I'm almost numb. I don't feel anything. I'm like, okay, whatever, and I just move ahead and just try to forget about it. But it ruins my mood, it ruins my day, it feels really bad. That is the truth. Like, imagine, I love Bengalis because I was brought up in West Bengal, but there was once this case when this person just came up to my face like this and said ching chang chong, and I was like, what? And then I felt so angry. I was like, boom bang boom. Yeah, that is not the best way to deal with that kind of situation. I don't want to do that to people. But imagine, how would you feel when, like, just, it feels bad. It's the same for the Northeast Indians. If you just call them ching chang chong, that's not fair. No, it isn't. So I'm not trying to attack any person in this video. I am just trying to make you understand how personal it is and how you hurt the sentiment of the person. You change your mind, you change your awareness. Don't treat people differently just because they look different.
में कौन है साथ में आपके? हेलो, आपके साथ में है यहाँ कोई? साथ में है कोई यहाँ? कोई साथ में आया है यहाँ? आपका मकसद क्या है ये बताओ आप? ईश्वर है ना, राम है बस, और कोई ईश्वर नहीं है। ये यहाँ क्रिश्चियन मिशनरीज हैं जो इधर आना चाह रहे हैं।
It's the unending shame for the whole country. The unending shame for the whole country. The unending shame for the whole country.
And brutally assaulting a woman near a salon in a posh Ahmedabad neighborhood has prompted the police to register a case of sexual harassment and violently causing hurt. The police have reached out to the woman who is from the northeast.
Some issue that spa owner has raised a certain question about her and one other co-worker. So because of the co-worker, they both have fighted. There have been a roughly argument between both of them, and then after she was beaten by the spa owner. It was, according to her, this was the person has also asked for the apology, and that's why she didn't give the complaint at that time. But police has requested her to give the complaint, so that's why she has filed the complaint right now. And now police is searching for the spa owner Mohsin, and he will be arrested soon.
U.S. as well as, I believe, British, the U.K. have issued warnings specifically to women, cautioning them not to travel alone in India.
Mita made exactly because the grounds given here was that India was a rape capital of the world. Therefore, admission was refused. India was a rape capital of the world. India was a rape capital of the world.
They're looking right there at the U.S. travel advisory for people traveling to India.
The Indian government launched an ad campaign titled "I Respect Women," fearing the country's lucrative tourism industry could be at risk. But as the latest alleged attack shows, women in India continue to be targets of sexual assault.
नहीं तो ये रियली बहुत ज़्यादा ये मतलब गंभीर बात है और इसमें तो मुझे लगता है कि इंडियन एम्बेसी को भी इन्वॉल्व होना चाहिए क्योंकि भाई ऐसे तो हमारे रिलेशन अच्छे नहीं हो सकते ना जबकि हम तो इंडिया में बैठ के ये मानते हैं कि इंडिया और साउथ कोरिया के रिलेशन बड़े अच्छे हैं, दोनों एक दूसरे का ख्याल रखते हैं, वहाँ के लोग एक दूसरे से मिलते जुलते हैं और मैंने कई सारे साउथ कोरियन चैनल्स भी देखे हैं जहाँ पे इंडिया को लेकर बड़ी अच्छी पॉजिटिव बातें कही जाती हैं, इंडियंस के बारे में बड़ा पॉजिटिव कहा जाता है, लेकिन उसके बाद भी इस तरह का बिहेवियर ये तो मतलब ये बर्दाश्त करने वाला नहीं है और इसको तो अपोज भी करना चाहिए, इसको सामने भी लाना चाहिए और इस पर कोई ना कोई एक्शन जरूर लेना चाहिए।
सर एग्जैक्टली
It was very painful, very painful. It was very painful, very painful. It was very painful, very painful. It was very painful, very painful.
설빙처럼 포장해 주는데? 뭐야? 이건 뭐야? 아이씨. 뒤질래? 뭐야? 이건 뭐야? 아이씨. 뒤질래? 너 뭐라 했어? 내 야, 칭칭포? 너 비하했지 너 지금? 어? 놀러 와봐. 칭칭포? 놀러 와봐. 이 새끼가 이씨. 칭칭포? 일로 와.
चाइना कैमरा आपको गोजू भी
때려 왜 때려?
आपको गोजू ओए आपको गोजू ये चाइना पब any it was good
뭐라고요?
hey oh you're China hey oh you're China
I'm from Korea.
China
And you're Pakistan.
no you're Pakistan you're
not China. I'm not China.
you're China this one
So I'm not China.
you're China this one
So I'm not China.
you're China this one
ये तो क्लियरली रेसिज्म का मामला था। तो क्या आपने वहां पर जो वहां पे आसपास लोग थे, किसी ने आपकी हेल्प नहीं की कि भाई ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए?
किसी ने भी नहीं करी।
I just want everyone to know that you cannot normalize racism anymore. That time's up.
It's kind of part of life here. You will see these verbal fights happening when you're here in India. Or maybe I've just spent too much time in Haryana, hey nah? Now,
what is the most racist country ever? First we have Philippines with a racist rate of 31%. Next is Libya, 54% of people don't want other races. Followed by Bahrain with 31% racism. Lebanon is on number 2 with a score of 36%. And the most racist country in the world is India with a total score of 43% people who don't want other races.
Hapsi, Benki,
Hapsi,
Benchu,
Pagal,
Bandaria,
Kuta, Kalia,
Pagal, Chutia,
monkeys.
먹는 거잖아 또? 엄청 더러워 보이는 물에서? 와 세수까지 하시네. 야 나도 세수 안 했는데 여기 세봐? 하면 바로 물가래. 빌라 오! 빌라 레거시 여기 있다 찾았다.
Is my phone number and my booking ID. Is application for trip. Is it here? 왜 이렇게 뭔가 좀 이상하지? It's here. Yes, 한결채. Is me.
This hotel is not international persons allowed.
So
you
I cannot live in here.
Order is booking. Transport to other hotel.
Another hotel.
Another hotel. For another hotel transfer. So you will go.
This hostel is for only India.
Indian. Only Indian person. I am Indian. You are not Indian.
So I don't understand because I pay already. And where is my money?